just took a break, okay, and now it's back to work. God made a way, that's the only way it works. I'ma walk this way till they put me in the dirt. They all keep me come as it heaven on this earth to me. Just now it occurred to me, hell gon' burn like third degree. If you know your history, Jesus paid that purse for me, and he took that curse from me. If you think that's perjury, boy, you better learn to read. Ain't me and my baby girl in on the court, call that double dutch. I've been walking with the Lord, can't be doing such and such. Wait, I took a minute, but now I'm back in it. If God isn't with it, I don't wanna visit. I went independent, it's gotta repent it, and cut out that fake. I just took a break.
Welcome to the place where dreams come alive.
To lead things off. And Federico launches this to left. Davalon's back. Track. It's gone.
Welcome to the SEC freshman, huh?
Welcome to the SEC and welcome to the In Off the Bench podcast. My name is Jim Cross. I'm joined as always by my co-host, my best friend, Daniel Ball. Tonight, Daniel, we are calling the feds. That's right. You know, Ole Miss has put their stamp on the season so far, and one of the guys who has helped them do it is freshman Hayden Federico. But before we bring him on the show, Daniel, we got to plug the sponsors. Chinook Cidery, 8 flavors, mild to wild, the best in the game. Daniel, we talked about it coming up here in Oxford. You have a chance to make a monumental moment. If Ole Miss can take care of business, everybody's going to know about Chinook Seeds. And hopefully, like you say, from the boardroom to the baseball field, everybody will be enjoying those 8 flavors. But we got to talk Old Dominic Distillery in the heart of downtown Memphis. Bourbon, vodka, whiskey, gin, they got it all, Daniel. The tradition, it doesn't get any better. And then, of course, Jesus One Apparel, empowering young men and women. John 16:33. As a matter of fact, Daniel, Ole Miss will have their shirts tomorrow, as well as Tennessee and LSU. Virginia Tech's already got theirs. Man, love seeing these baseball players represent their faith. But, man, we got to get to the episode. We got to introduce Hayden, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely, man. Blessed to have you on. We're going to get your story. We're going to talk all things Ole Miss. But before we do, we got to break the ice. I was on this show earlier. It's more geared towards people your age, but people of all ages jump on it. I like to jump on it. And I was talking the subject. They do Life Madness for March Madness, and they use real life things, and they were putting into some scenarios. So I'm going to ask you the couple questions they asked me. All right. So what is a bigger deal? What would you pick to advance in this Life Madness tournament? Would you rather have falling in love or your team winning a championship? And when I say team, I don't mean you playing. I mean the team you root for.
Falling in love.
See, that's the right answer. That's not what I gave them. I told them my Saints won a Super Bowl the same month I met my wife. And if I could go back and do it all again, Daniel, we're winning the Super Bowl. You know.
That's the wrong answer, though.
The good news is it was on Instagram Live. They don't have the recording. Nobody's going to see it. I did tell my wife just in case the news got out. But, hey, there is no wrong answer in that. That's the beauty of Life Madness. Enough of that. This took way too long. This is my fault.
Yeah, you got off on a tangent, but Hayden, let's get into this, man. You are a guy from Monroe, West Monroe, right? Louisiana?
Yes, sir.
So what's the difference between East Monroe and West Monroe? Why is it specified this is West Monroe?
So they call it the Twin Cities. Monroe is that's where my dad's school is located. Just more like the city side, and then West Monroe, you got to cross over the bridge. There's the Ouachita River runs through it, and that's West Monroe, and that's where I live. That's where I went to high school, and good place to live.
No doubt about that. Good baseball in the state, probably some really good baseball in Monroe itself. But if I went there, what would you suggest I do? Like, what's the one thing? Like, what's the claim to fame?
Definitely Duck Dynasty. That's probably everybody's go-to. They're gonna go visit the warehouse, stuff like that. But I mean, I think the best part about Louisiana in general is the food. So definitely a restaurant on the water. There's a lot of great places, and definitely some really good seafood and steaks and all that.
I'll say this, Hayden. You throw in name dropping Duck Dynasty. That's the most famous name that has been dropped when we talk about where people are from. Nobody
No,
has
man.
dropped one.
Not even in Monroe, Daniel. The Pearson Hitting Academy dropped by John and Josh Pearson, bro. What are you talking about?
I
He should have
mean,
listed that. And now I know why. Now I know why he's not hitting like Josh Pearson just yet. He ain't hit the academy.
no offense to the academy, but they ain't making millions by selling duck calls. Let's go. Give
No,
me some
hey,
Duck Dynasty.
he was not there for that episode, but yeah, I know that you obviously played with Big John Pearson, right?
Oh yeah, I played with Josh my freshman year as well.
The idea, Daniel, that those two guys were playing together, I don't even need to see the rest of the team, man. That tells me enough.
It's probably not very fair. That's what it sounds like. So Dad, you mentioned Dad. He's a college baseball coach. Where is he a coach at?
He coaches at Louisiana Monroe.
All right, so ULM. What is it? How do things go down in a house where you play? Technically for a rival, like not really like a rival, but like you're a competitor. Like he wants to beat you if you show up on his field, and if he shows up on your field, same thing. Like how does that work? I mean, how do holidays, like how do birthdays go down? Like what happens? Is it like y'all don't talk to each other, or y'all got to be separated? Can y'all even FaceTime or phone call like during the season?
So obviously they're in the Sun Belt, so we're in the SEC. We don't ever play them conference wise. But next year, they're on the schedule, so we'll play them next year. So I guess I could answer that for you a little bit better next year. But
Is it going to be in Oxford? Probably.
I think so. Yes, I think
Oh,
it's
Daniel, I'm making that drive
Man.
55 minutes for that action. And you know what, man? I may, just for the fun of it, Daniel, I obviously would normally root for Ole Miss in anything except against LSU, but I got to root for Dad here, man. Dad's our age. Like,
Do you think, is it possible like there's a scenario where Coach Bianco and your dad, they're like yelling at each other back and forth through the dugout. Some chaos is going on the field, and like they're getting heated, and like you're just sitting there going, I don't know what side to be on. What do I do?
Well, I think I would always take Coach B's side, just being I know how he is. But funny story, back in 2020, the last game of the college baseball season, Ole Miss was at my dad's field. They played them in their last two games. It was like the spring break midweek. And that was like Tyler Keenan, Anthony Servideo, all those guys. That was their last year there. And Kevin Graham, Tim Elko, they were all there. And my dad actually got thrown out of the game. It was the last game of the 2020 college season before COVID happened. And I was in the dugout with him, and there was a questionable call, and he just let the umpire have it. He got tossed, and it was actually church day for our church. They were all down the right field line, so it was a odd situation. That was the first time I ever met Coach and everything. So that's
Daniel,
a funny story.
Jesus flipped the tables outside the temple. I'm just saying.
I mean, this, I got some footage from that. This is what it sounded like. Man, what does mom say? Like when that goes down, what does mom say? Does she go, I hope you got your money's worth? Was it worth it? Or is like they're like,
sleep on the couch.
Don't do that again. Like I've always wondered, like I've never been thrown out of a game so I stopped coaching college before I had kids. So I've never been thrown out of a game where I had my kid watching. So to me, it's like, does mom really chastise dad in that situation with you sitting in the dugout? Or is that just comes with the territory?
I think it comes with the territory, because if it was my mom out there on the field too, like if they could throw out fans, I think she'd be thrown out too. And he's going at it, she's just as mad. So she's awesome. She's so supportive of him and of me, and she's always in his corner. So, but that day against Ole Miss, she was down there with the church, so I think she might have been a little bit more embarrassed on that one. So
she just started praying. That's
right.
Well, I'll tell you, Daniel, I got to witness this firsthand. If you remember, I have the pictures on the field. I sent it to you of Coach B and his son, Drew, obviously Drew, a guest of the show, but he was it was beautiful. Ole Miss was playing LSU on their senior day, so he got to be out there in the powder blues with Drew wearing the gold. And it was really cool, and took a picture of them two just sitting there talking. But then that was the game where Ole Miss took us to the woodshed and was really the start of that heater that took them all the way to the championship. We felt like LSU was the launch pad when they beat up on us. So Coach B definitely got the bragging rights on his senior day. He's definitely never going to forget that day.
That's is that when Coach Maneri started tearing up? No, tears didn't start falling yet. He was just
that was
welling
actually
up.
that was
Okay.
Jay Johnson's first year.
First year.
But what's funny is, Drew is working at Ole Miss, or at least the last I knew he was. Maybe that's how that went down, Daniel. It was, if we beat you, you come work for me when you get done. So
Maybe. I mean, mom, dad seems like they're highly in the picture, and it's very clear to me like it takes a lot of support and a lot of dedication from a lot of people to get you at the elite level, and a lot of hard work goes in on your part as well. But you went to 4 straight 5A titles in baseball at West Monroe. You're winning 2 of them. You played quarterback at West Monroe. You threw for 3,069 yards. Holy smokes. 36 touchdowns, rushed for 1,813 yards and 23 touchdowns. I think you're playing the wrong sport, Hayden.
Yeah, football it's actually my favorite sport. I loved it. I love Friday nights. I love competing, with those 10 guys and the huddle. And I had a lot of fun in high school, and we were really successful, so it was awesome. But being 5'10", there's not too many 5'10" quarterbacks in the country, especially at the higher levels. So I knew baseball.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I've met Drew Brees in person, and he's 5'10". I don't care what.
Let me tell you something. There's a dude that was the MVP of the NFL. He ain't that tall.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I
he's
mean,
like, I appreciate you guys telling me I could have done it, but like, those guys are, Hall of Famers. That's all.
I look at those stats, like that's nothing to like bat an eye at. Like those are big time numbers. Like
Louisiana high school football, especially at that level, is elite.
What do you like? Was there consideration of even like toying around with the idea of trying to go somewhere and play football, or even go somewhere that you could play both? Or at that point where you just like, nah, I'm gonna stick with baseball and take that wherever I can go?
Yeah, so early in my high school career, like freshman, sophomore year, I was kind of more of like a Swiss Army knife. Slade Bolden, I don't know if y'all know who that name is. He played at Alabama. He played quarterback at our school, but he also played a little receiver and running back. So that's how they kind of wanted to like groom me into be as I got older. And then I got some looks as like more of a slot receiver from some smaller schools, and like Southeastern and Nicholls State, stuff like that. But it was never that was never really the goal. I started getting some offers when I was younger in baseball, and when I started talking to some of the bigger schools, I knew that's what I wanted to do, and enjoy football while I had it. But I knew I was going to have to hang up the cleats one day.
He don't got to get hit no more. He ain't dumb.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Well, it's clear that Coach Kiffin doesn't know talent when he sees it, but Coach Bianco does. So, tell me, with your dad being at ULM and all the probably network of connections that he has, it's probably a long, big list that you have to weed down. Like, how do you narrow it down to Ole Miss, and why do you inevitably choose to play ball at Ole Miss?
So I'd always been a huge fan of Coach Bianco's, just watching the season over the years. And then I was born in Memphis. My dad coached there for 5 years, so that was really close to Oxford. And then for the next 8 years of my life, we were at Southern Miss. So grew up in Hattiesburg, always saw Ole Miss play, and never liked Mississippi State. That was kind of you never rooted for them, never wanted them to do good, but you just never had a problem with Ole Miss. And then when I moved over to Louisiana, it's about the same distance to Baton Rouge. And I knew I wanted to play in the SEC, and I didn't want to go too far from home. So it was always kind of LSU or Ole Miss, and I just fell in love with Ole Miss, fell in love with the coaching staff, the city, the community, and the guys. It's been awesome. It's been a blessing to be here.
Yeah, no,
Jim,
I mean,
you see what we did there. Like
yeah,
we just went full circle. Like you see that flag in the background, Hayden. I know you
yeah,
see it.
we're from Memphis.
I
Oh yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
And I'm actually going to watch them. You were just talking about not rooting for Mississippi State. I'm going to Memphis and Mississippi State tomorrow, so I can root for Memphis and root against Mississippi State. So I am with you on that one. But it is cool, Daniel, full circle. But we talk about it, right? The small world, and you even talk about not too far away, right? And it's 55, man. It's a straight shot from Memphis all the way down to Baton Rouge. It's smooth sailing. I just got back from there last weekend. So yeah, it's a quick trip home for you. But I love that you chose there. A lot of guys will try to stay home. I do like that you went a little bit away from home, and really, there's no bad options between the two. So, I definitely think it's cool because I think it gives you some space between you and your dad ultimately. And now you got him on the schedule, so it's all going to work out. But I want to ask you, man. We know you played high level, high school and travel ball. But we always talk to guys, and it's a huge adjustment, though, when you get to D1 baseball, specifically SEC. Was it a major adjustment for you coming from those to this one?
It was definitely an adjustment. I wouldn't say it was a major adjustment, just more so because I knew how it worked. I knew how college baseball worked and the rosters and the depth levels and stuff like that. So when I got here, and the thing that I think makes me unique in a way is I don't ever try to be anybody that I'm not. And I knew everybody coming in is they were the best player on their high school team and they had a bunch of success. So I didn't have to compete to be the big dog and stuff like that. I was just going to come in and do what I was good at and make other people better around me. And, I adjusted really quickly to that aspect of it. And I just came in and was myself and made the most of the opportunities I was given.
Daniel, I'm really happy and feel really good about the state of college baseball because that is him and K. Darren Beatty within the last month, freshmen, talking about they understood when they got somewhere that everybody was the best player where they came from, and that didn't matter, that you had to work and earn everything just the same. And when we got freshmen that are not only just that talented, but that smart, it makes me feel really good about where we're going.
yeah, definitely.
But I got to bring up a stat that I'd planned on bringing on when Luke was supposed to come on. Daniel, I'm absolutely floored. I was getting their hitting statistics, and I'm gonna drop some on you that you may or may not know. I'm gonna say you probably don't know, but you and Luke have just the slightest margin of difference in OBP, literally 0.02. And the reason is y'all both have 23 walks each. Y'all both have 13 strikeouts each. But Luke has been hit by pitch 7 times. You've been hit by 6. But damn, that's crazy. That's your 1 and 2 hole hitters literally replicating each other. And obviously you like the more strikeouts, or excuse me, the more walks to strikeouts. And hey, man, they're able to get on base by getting hit. But did you know that y'all stats were the same, Hayden?
I did not, but that's really cool. Luke's I've learned a lot from Luke and just not tried to replicate him, but he's been there, he's done that, and he's had a lot of success. So the more I can put up numbers like that, I think it'll be just fine for me.
Shout out to 8 and 9 hole hitters for turning that lineup over. I mean,
Well,
come on, let's go.
I'll tell you, before the 8 and 9 hole hitters can even get up, and talk about something that Luke had a luxury, Daniel. You've seen the clip. It was the first pitch of the game against Arkansas. And I don't know if you know, Daniel, that's the reigning SEC pitcher of the week, Root from Arkansas, that Hayden took yard on the first pitch. I mean, talking about, and that's the first SEC game, like, talk to me about that moment, Hayden. Like, that's got to feel so good. You got Arkansas, highly ranked team coming into your house, first SEC game, and the first pitch, man, you jump all over it.
Yeah, it was cool. So my thumb had been banged up all week, and I didn't even know if I was going to be able to swing the bat, to be completely honest with you. And just kind of taped it up, took some ibuprofen, and just told myself I'm going to go up there and attack. And he threw a slider over the middle of the plate, and I just swung as hard as I could. And, good things happen sometimes when you hit it. And, good wind day, and ball flew up out of the stadium, and it was really cool. Just the excitement. Ole Miss has kind of struggled in the SEC the past 2 years. So to throw that first punch was was really, really cool. And to see everybody excited and stuff like that was awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. And y'all obviously win that game. Y'all barely lose the series. All three games were close. Let me ask you a question though. It was just a couple mistakes made by the team in that third game that was the difference in winning. Aloy really doesn't get up. Like, do you know in your mind, like, hey, if we clean up the mistakes, we're definitely better? Because I came out of that series feeling like Ole Miss was the better team. I feel like y'all had, the better players. It just was a couple, key mistakes on yourself. Do y'all feel the same way?
I think so. I mean, I'm not going to get into like the better team or anything like that, but I think that's the game of baseball in a nutshell. A few mistakes and an error here or not getting the big hit, the timely hit. I think that's the name of the game. And Arkansas did a great job of capitalizing on our mistakes, but we're really confident in our abilities and our abilities to get the job done and win baseball games. So I think we're going to be just fine. And once we clean everything up, it's going to be a really fun season.
I realized that, Daniel. He wouldn't take the bait, and every answer is mature. It's a coach's son. Let's just call it what it is. Next time you can be like, yes, we are the better team. As a matter of fact, Arkansas sucks because they do. No, I'm just kidding. We're just not big fans of them on here. But no, I really thought that series told us a lot about both teams. And obviously we've seen it since, both teams doing their thing. So feel really, really good that, y'all are the not just the better team, but you're one of the upper echelon teams in the SEC. And with that, this team was unranked to start the season. Is that something that y'all had as motivation, kind of a chip on your shoulder, because y'all knew the talent you had? I saw what y'all had during the inter squads. Like, when you see that you're not ranked, does that give y'all motivation as a team?
I think so. I think a lot of it, kind of my terminology I've used in my brain this year was you're playing with house money. Like, you're not supposed to be good. You're not, nobody believes in you. So I think that's a good thing. Why not go prove them wrong? And even in my high school career, people doubted us. And usually once you get to the top of the mountain, once we won that state championship in baseball, that's when everybody wanted us to fail. And, it's very similar to Ole Miss. They won the national championship in 22, and the next 2 years it was a little bit of a decline. And so we had nothing to lose. It was just go out there and have fun and go compete at a high level, and good things will happen.
Yeah, and I absolutely think y'all are having fun. That's one of the reasons I love going there. I tell Daniel, we've been there more than any other stadiums this year, me and my son, and he talks about, first of all, he says that Swayze feels like his favorite, like it feels kind of like home. And that's because the people are there, are real relaxed, real chill. The stadium is not too overly big. People love their baseball. They love the Rebels. And so I really like the vibe at Swayze, and I really like this team because you can tell that y'all are having fun out there. Connor Spencer talked about it in y'all's lost in Arlington, right? He said y'all lost that second game, and he said nobody was down, and that's why y'all bounced back in the third game the way y'all did. It wasn't, back to the drawing board, figure I was wrong. It's like just a bad game. We just move on because we know we're better than that. And then y'all end up run ruling right back, which I got to ask you, man, you start your college career in a big league park against top 25 teams. What's that like?
Yeah, it was really cool. So I didn't play the first two games. I was just kind of waiting for my turn. And then that next morning before we were playing Clemson, we had just got run rolled. And like you said, nobody was really down. And it was just kind of a good vibe, good energy. And Coach Bianco had told me I was leading off, so I was pumped. And then, just went out there and, had fun and got the job done. And we ended up run rolling them, which was really cool.
Yeah, no doubt. So last one I got for you, I'll turn you over to Daniel. Talking about coming from Arlington to that first home series, we talked to guys, and when you don those uniforms, and we were just talking about how good they look. We know that they're probably the best uniform kit. When you get to put that on in front of the home crowd, man, what's that feeling like the first time?
It's really cool just walking out and seeing Swayze packed. It's really fun, and it's kind of funny. We didn't wear the powder blues the first like two home weekends, and we ended up wearing them our last non-conference series. And I had been joking with one of our coaches. I was like, "Coach, that's why I came here, was to wear the powder blues." And we finally got to wear those, and that was really cool. Just
See, there you go again with the coach speak. I called them out on this Look, you just call out Nike, Hayden. Don't be scared. The uniforms weren't in, and me and Daniel talked about it for the same reason you did, Dan. Did we not say it was unacceptable that the best uniforms were not in?
Look, Hayden, let me be honest with you. All right. Oregon, they didn't have no problem getting all their 250 different kits of uniforms. So,
But fun fact for you, Hayden, it's not an Ole Miss thing. It happened to LSU with their golds a couple years ago. So I don't know how these elite level programs with their Sunday uniforms of all things are the things that are getting held up. But Nike, man, all our money, I buy all my products from you. Do better. One more thing, Daniel, before I turn over. Got to do my keyword on the Swayze Crazies page. If you're listening to this episode, so you can try to win the Dylan DeLucia autograph card. Daniel, let's go with you wearing the Bitfo shirt. Let's go Bitfo. I said code Bitfo. Put it in the comments. Show us that you listened to Hayden's episode. Get in the running for the card. With that being said, Daniel, go ahead and roll the game.
BITFO. That's your code. Put it in. Get yourself a shot to win the card.
And Bill Pearson said, "What up?" You know, Hayden and Daniel. Bill Pearson knows if people are good people, and he says Hayden is absolutely good people.
Oh, for sure. And with that, we only play this game with good people. Hayden, are you ready to play a game called This or That?
Let's do it.
All right. It's very simple. I'm going to give you two options. You choose one option or the other. Can't say both. Can't say neither. Just go with your gut. Go with your head. Go with your heart. Just be decisive and pick one.
Do it.
All right, Jim. This or That is brought to you by.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jesus One Apparel. Daniel, I got the numbers. I'm so impressed with In Off the Bench fans. I posted the Ole Miss and the Tennessee, which were the first two that were released. If they use the code IOTB15, they get 15% off, and 15% goes to the ministry of the choosing. In Ole Miss's case, me and Luke Hill will come together with something. But Daniel, so we know how many are actually purchased based upon the code. We had 55 Ole Miss shirts, and we had 52 Tennessee first week. So shout out to the fans. Obviously, you know, the message is the most important part, right? Jesus One, but supporting Luke, Dalton Bargo from Tennessee. Now we're going to be able to put that money to ministries, and everybody's going to look good too.
I'm telling you. Let me tell you something about those shirts, though. I mean, they fit you and hug you in all the right places.
They don't feel as good as the Bitfo, though. Don't lie. The Bitfo is the best material in the game.
But I got Jesus on my side, so that's one thing that I feel really good about when I throw my gear on. Even though Bitfo, I ain't gonna lie, it fits you good too. It's top of the line when it comes to making you look good in all the right places.
If you learn anything in life, man, it's never about money. Getting free merch from people is the best thing ever, because then you just rep things and never buy anything, and it feels good. Just tell me.
But with that, let's feel good. Let's play the game. First question: sunflower seeds or gum? What do you choose?
Sunflower seeds, no doubt.
Sunflower seeds. What is your seed of choice?
So there's it's actually, I think it is Chinook Seedery. It's the cinnamon toast or whatever. It's the best. There's no doubt.
Love it. Let me tell you something. Hayden, you take some barbecue, smokehouse barbecue, and then the same amount of cinnamon toast. Throw it back. I promise you. You'll be coming at me later, being like, "That's the best thing I ever had in my entire life."
I'll have to try it.
Y'all don't have them in the dugout though, do you?
We have them every now and then. One of our coaches,
if it's every now and then, those are the ones that I'm giving to Luke. That's what I was just going to say. Because you said that on the air, Daniel, I'm going to bring him a box of cinnamon toast. Make sure to throw in a few bags of barbecue so he can do it. So I got you Tennessee weekend. Hey, don't worry about it.
Nice.
I appreciate it.
All right, next question. Would you rather attend the party or host the party?
Definitely host the party. Just like people not having to leave my space and getting to control most of it would be ideal.
Good answer. Getting to control most of it. That all depends on who is invited to the party, I bet.
That's right.
So you got to be selective. All right. No money or no internet? If you had to choose one.
No internet. For sure.
What would you do? Would you read? Would you just like wander around? Would you actually talk to people? Like what would you do?
Definitely social side. I think no internet would actually be good for our society these days. So you need money. Money makes the world go around. So I'm gonna need that.
Let me tell you something, Hayden. Back in my day, you don't know anything about it, but there used to not be internet.
Look at you feeling good about that. You know what we did? We played wiffle ball in Daniel's backyard. He used to cut his backyard in the shape of a diamond, and we get out there and play wiffle ball.
That's
I
all.
mean, it was like prison rules out there, man. We didn't.
I mean,
we
that's the
didn't-
only way I could play. Y'all were all baseball players. I was a football player. Wiffle ball was the only game I could play, and tackling people and throwing the ball at them as hard as you could was something that I worked well with.
Would you rather strike somebody out with a fastball or with off speed? I don't know why that.
That's my bad. He did that. I forgot to take that off. This is the this or that's from Connor Spencer. Fail on the producer. But if
So
you were
I'll
a
ask.
pitcher,
I'll ask you this: if you were to strike out, which rarely happens, I know, but would you rather like? And this is, I guess, this is actually an even better question because it makes you kind of appreciate the fact that baseball is a very hard game, and you know you're going to strike out at some point. So how would you rather strike out with? Just get blown completely away, or would you rather just be fooled completely thinking one thing and getting off speed and just swinging over the top of something?
I think if I strike out, I don't want it to be me beating myself. Like I'd rather, if a pitcher just makes a good pitch with a fastball, because in the SEC everybody's good. So if somebody throws a fastball right by me, I'll tip the cap. But hopefully I don't miss that fastball. But if it happens, then I got to give my respect to them. If I strike out swinging on something in the dirt, then I know I beat myself.
Daniel, because these guys get to go against their own teammates in the inter squads in the fall and everything, I don't see anybody blowing it by him because he's got a couple gas throwers on his team that I know he got to practice again, and I don't see too many guys that throw him faster than Jones or Connor Spencer.
No, and it's just sometimes you're looking in certain counts for guys to throw a certain way, or you pick up a pattern and you're seeing like you sometimes you guess, and sometimes you guess right, and sometimes you guess completely wrong. But for me, I'm the opposite. I would rather, if I was going to strike out, I'd rather know I beat myself because I don't want to give that person any satisfaction that they beat me. That's what. Creams or pinstripes?
Definitely the creams. I personally love the creams. A lot of the guys, they'd rather wear the pins, but I think the creams look really good.
Big fan of those. This weekend, who you got? LSU or Oklahoma?
I'm gonna have to say LSU. Got too many good buddies on that team that I root for, and I hope the best for them always.
I'll say this, and me and Daniel have owned it. Coming into the season, we did not think Oklahoma was going to be this good. We definitely got that one wrong. I did not have this series circled as one of the hardest ones of the year.
Yeah, Oklahoma, they've had a really good season so far, and they've played really good baseball.
That game one is going to be a good one.
I mean, I can say this because it's in Ole Miss's rear view, Daniel, but there isn't an easy weekend unless you see Missouri on the schedule.
No. Poor Missouri. Georgia or Texas? Georgia coming in hot.
Where is
Texas
that game? At Texas?
I think yeah.
I think Georgia might pull it off. I know they've been swinging it really well, so I think that might be Georgia.
How much do you guys pay attention to what other teams do in conference?
I personally don't pay attention to it really. I after our games and stuff, I'll go check how my friends did personally, but it's never really about other teams. I'm just really focused on our team and our goals stuff. So I'm not too concerned with other people.
So it is at Texas, but I want to tell you about a kid that we talk about not knowing stuff before the season. It's a graduate transfer, but that is it Zabowski kid, Daniel. He's batting 465, Hayden, with 14 home runs and 52 RBIs, and it's like, Bro, if you weren't on the radar before, you are now.
Yeah,
I
no doubt.
I heard he's using torpedo bat. Just saying.
Torpedo bat. Everybody will be now. We're gonna have to do a breakdown of that.
What's your thought on the torpedo bat, Hayden?
Yeah, I've seen it, obviously since the MLB season started. I think it's really cool. I think utilizing certain guys' swings with it, I think it's only good for the game, and people want to see more home runs and stuff like that. So you might as well give them what they want.
I don't understand the complaining going on from everybody that they could use this. They could use these bats,
Yep.
and they're complaining about it. Just go order
Look,
some and use them.
Some of the pitches that have been shown, Daniel, by the pitching ninja. I sent you the one the other day. Some of the stuff's so filthy. The batters need anything they can get, man.
That's right.
They're trying. I get it. Long balls generate audience, and that's what people want to see. I get it. I will say, I think with technology and what we know about motion, like I think the pitchers can overcome what bat is in someone's hand, because at the end of the day, you know as well as I do, Hayden, still got to make contact with the ball, and that's not easy. So, all right, last question. Big question. Would you rather attend a concert or a sporting event? We're not talking like, down at the hole in the wall dive. We're talking about bucket list concert, bucket list sporting event.
I mean, I'm gonna say sporting event, but a good concert is it's awesome. I went and saw Riley Green, and that was by far my favorite concert ever. But I don't think I would pass up an opportunity to go to a Super Bowl or the World Series. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. If you went to the Super Bowl, what team you want to see?
I'm gonna have to
Pick
see
the teams.
there. I've always been a Saints fan growing up, and other than that, it wouldn't matter as long as
Just plan on going to a lot of concerts, because we ain't going to the Super Bowl anytime soon.
Oh man. Well, Hayden, I appreciate you carving out some time for us tonight. Anything you want to plug or promote before you get out of here?
No, I appreciate y'all having me on, and I thank y'all for everything y'all do for the game of baseball, and especially college baseball. It means a lot, and hopefully I can get one of those Jesus One shirts. I think that'd be pretty cool to rep.
Your whole team's getting them. When you can, and I'm pretty sure you know who Jonathan Fulcher is, right?
I do. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, we got them for Luke Hill, our sponsor bought them, but we sent them to Jonathan, so he's gonna make sure that every one of y'all gets them. But so just tell him and Luke thank you, and man, I can't wait to see the whole team wearing them. We sitting there talking about it, Daniel, the best color scheme. They're gonna have the best shirts.
I mean,
Awesome.
It's gonna look. I've seen them. They look nice. Y'all gonna love these. Trust me. But with that, if y'all want to catch some action, Ole Miss is in. They're doing their thing tomorrow night. They're at home. Jackson State's coming to town. It's a midweek game. Now, Hayden, we've had guys come on before, and we've plugged the upcoming games, and we've had the Monday night guest, and we talk briefly about that midweek, and sometimes they overlook that midweek team and get beat. So I don't need you doing that. I need y'all taking care of business, because let me tell you something. Kentucky, you guys are going to Kentucky, and guess what? They're fired up. I mean, I know you saw the coaches, Texas A&M and Kentucky this weekend. They're just getting after it.
Kentucky built some confidence after this weekend, putting up all those runs down in College Station.
I'm telling you. So I think they're going to be ready. But for those of you that want to know, SEC Network, 6 p.m. on April 3rd. That's a Thursday night. 5:30 p.m. on Friday, SEC Network Plus, and then Saturday capping it off on the 5th at 1 o'clock, SEC Network Plus. All three are in Kentucky. It's a big conference game. Get Ole Miss, continuing to move in the right direction, flying under the radar.
Daniel, I need
not
them
so much anymore, but
I need them to clean sweep, no hiccups. Tennessee take care of business, and then next weekend or the weekend after, you're going to have 2 top 10 teams. You're obviously going to have number 1, whatever they move Ole Miss up. It'll make sure to be on the major networks. It's going to be electric.
Oh, it's going to be phenomenal. So take care of business. Have a happy, safe, successful, free rest of the season. If there's anything we can do for you along the way, reach out to us. Let us know.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good one.
Yep, appreciate it. That's Hayden Federico, everybody. If you like hearing Hayden's story or you just like hearing Average Joe's talk X's and O's, please like, share the podcast on Facebook. Go on over to YouTube, click like, click subscribe, click notifications. That way you know when new content is being dropped. Jim, great episode, man. Who's next? And I mean, what else you got?
Man, this week, blessed, dude. We talk about relationships, and it starts with tomorrow night. Some would say, you know, people have been saying get a guest picker on our college midweek madness for the weekend, something we had planned on doing. I kind of slacked on that in the beginning, want to make sure we had all the kinks worked out, which I feel like we do. Everybody loving the last episode. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out with, you know, a recap of the weekend. But Daniel, I sent a message to 3 guys, see if they want to do picks with us. 3 guys who've moved on from college baseball. I did that kind of like trying to set up for like 3 weeks in a row. They all 3 answered back within 5 minutes, want to do it this week. So we're just going to go big out the gate. Going to have all 3 of them on, Daniel. Speaking of Kentucky, we're going to have Hunter Gilliam, the former captain, and an off the bench guest. He's going to be on there with us. We are going to have Griffin Merritt, former Cincinnati Bearcat and Tennessee Vol. We know he's an elite mind, Daniel. He studies the game. I look forward to having him. And then Adam Cesari, who was a part of Wake Forest and Penn State, actually is working with pro baseball players now, another elite mind. So 3 guys to do picks with, Daniel. We're up against it. We got to make sure we're sharp this week. We did both complete over 500 this week. We went 5-3, both of us, but we still got to do better. We both said we were going to go, perfect. Obviously, that didn't happen. We were toast because Arizona got rocked the first 2 games, just eliminating that. It wasn't even the ones that we picked different than each other. But outside of that, that's Tuesday, Daniel. And I'm obviously going to have highlights and recap on our March Madness of being live at Memphis, Mississippi State. But we got Caleb Freeman from Georgia State, Daniel. This is a cool story because you say, Georgia State. This kid was at Auburn. He wasn't getting any run. He goes to Georgia State. Now he's ranked on the big board as the 5th best second baseman in the country, leads the nation in doubles. So way to go, Caleb. Go in there, making the best of your situation. Daniel, it's not the SEC, but it doesn't matter, man. He's going somewhere. He's performing. He's having fun. And so that's cool to see. And then next week, Daniel, we're hitting different things. We're going to do Braden Smith from Oklahoma State, Maximus Martin from Kansas State, and then we got Anthony Ianson. And then the week after that, we got LaTrey McCollum from UCSB. And then I even got an episode I still got to pluck, which either is going to be Devin Burks from Kentucky or Ethan Norby from ECU. So new schools or schools we haven't done in a while, elite level guest, elite level character. Is going to be a blast. On top of the fact we're going to be continuing to do college baseball tonight, giving people the best stats, highlight scores in the game.
I mean, if you're not excited, you need to check your pulse. Get ready because it's coming. Y'all stay with us. We got more to come this week. As Jim said, we've got our midweek madness. We got our picks. We got college baseball tonight, tomorrow. And then we got Caleb Freeman on Wednesday. And then obviously with all the matchups this weekend, we got some more college baseball tonight coming at you. So with that, Jim, I'm going to hit you with a little love shot to sign us out. This is the Off the Bench podcast. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We are out.